Gear up for one of the most action-packed bouts of the domestic British professional boxing scene, featuring two equally adept, powerful, and strong-willed boxers who are set to both dominate the global scene eventually. At stake are the British and Commonwealth light heavyweight titles. Not only that, at stake is also a fast ticket to the international scene in a weight division currently dominated by the likes of Artur Beterbiev. It's going to be hard, high stakes, and filled with emotion. This is all that led up to it. Joshua Buatsi makes his move. Joshua Buatsi was born on March 14, 1993 in Accra, Ghana. Seeking to improve their lives and to especially provide a better life for young 9-year-old Joshua, his family moved to the UK to settle in London. He was raised in Croydon, South London, where he moved with his family at the age of 9. Buatsi studied at Edenham High School. Being the scion of a legally immigrated Ghanaian family, willing to put the hard work in, education was not something he could ever flake out on. Nevertheless, he found an interest in sports, and as a child, it wouldn't be long till he discovered that boxing was the right fit for him. After first starting at the age of 15, Buatsi soon started to create an impressive trail of amateur silverware, and in less than 2 years, gained first place in the 2010 England Youth National Championships in the 85-kilogram category. Dropping down to 81 kilograms the year after, he repeated this success. These years were spent at the South Norwood and Victory Club in London, England. Eventually, it won him a place on the Ghanaian national squad. Buatsi reached the finals of the Ghana National Selection Tournament, losing to his more experienced foe, Emmanuel Ageanim. However, he decided not to represent Ghana any longer and would miss out on the 2012 Olympics. Moving back to the UK, he continued on his amateur career alongside his education, which he was still bent on completing. Over the next 4 years, he won gold twice in the English National Championships and bronze in the European Championships. At the 2016 European Boxing Olympic Qualification Tournament held in Samsun, Turkey, Buatsi defeated Ukraine's Alexander Kosniak in the semifinals and Dutch boxer Peter Mullenberg in the final of the light heavyweight bracket. This was the win he needed to secure his place in Rio as part of the Great Britain team. At the 2016 Rio Olympics, he defeated Elshad Razalov of the Uzbekistan with a third-round knockout to progress to the quarterfinals. In the end, he came back home with a well-earned bronze medal. He had more than a storied amateur career, and he also had finished his bachelor's degree in sports science within this period. The only logical direction to go was to go pro. He made his professional debut on July 1, 2017, when he fought Carlos Mena at the O2 Arena. Buatsi won the fight by knockout in the second round. He went on to defeat several opponents, including Baptiste Castanagro, Saidou Saul, Jordan Joseph, Bartlomew Grafka, Stefan Cuevas, and others. The titles that he's defending right now will come into his possession on March 23, 2019. On that day, he defeated Liam Conroy via technical knockout in round 3 to claim the vacant British light heavyweight title at the Copper Box Arena in London, England. This was when he first established himself as a powerful up-and-coming British prospect and became known for his formidable power and poise. Over the next few years, he continued dominating his opponents by way of knockouts and unanimous decision victories. In 2021, he won against Ricardo Botlaniks and Daniel Blenda dos Santos, and in 2022, he defeated Craig Richards. Since his victory over Liam Conroy in 2019, though, his regional British titles were not in contention. Due to this period of inactivity, the belt was left vacant, so his fight against Dan Azeez would be the first contender fight for those titles since then, and he'll be wanting his belt back. As of now, he has a total of 17 fights with 17 wins, 13 of which were won by KO. It won't be easy for Dan Azeez in the slightest. Dan Azeez guards his path to international contention. Dan Azeez was born on August 30th, 1989 in London, England. He grew up in Lewisham, South London, not all that far from where Joshua Buatsi would eventually start living with his family. However, growing up in Lewisham was not entirely easy for him. He recalls being a rough kid, often getting into fights around his area. His first experience with boxing was at the Honor Oak Club, a local institution, when he was 14. "I was a rough kid," the 32-year-old recalls with a chuckle. "Nothing outrageous, but I was often fighting around my area and stuff. So I went in the gym with the same attitude, no discipline. I thought it was just a tear-up." As a result, the coach declined the opportunity to train him, and Azeez returned to his contradictory teenage life of street scuffles and studying. It was not until he was working towards a degree in accounting and finance at Essex University at 18 that he was able to fully commit to boxing. He took on a motivating love of boxing inspired by boxers like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and Marvin Hagler. "Outside of my studies, I used to go on YouTube a lot," Azeez says, "and I was watching these highlight reels of fighters like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, and Marvin Hagler. It opened my eyes. I realized boxing isn't just a wham bam thank you ma'am. There's an art there. It fascinated me. He soon found himself at a local gym in Colchester, where he trained under Coach Gordon Charlesworth. His amateur career began not long after. Azeez had over 60 amateur contests and was crowned the ABA South of England champion 3 times. He also won the prestigious Box Cup tournament in 2013 at London's Alexandra Palace. His attempts at amateur career victories after 2013, however, did not show much in the way of noteworthy results. Part of this can be attributed to him pursuing his master's degree and completing it, and part of it can also be attributed to his late start in boxing. But his dedication and focus led to remarkable results in forging into a formidable boxer ready to take on the professional ladder with ease. As such, he made his professional debut in December 2017 against Daniel Brazov at the Brentwood Center in Essex, scoring 2 knockdowns on the way to a dominant points decision. On July 20 of 2019, after 8 fights, Dan Azeez challenged for the vacant Southern Arena title against fellow Londoner Charlie Duffield. Azeez dominated from the first round, causing swelling under Duffield's left eye, which only got worse as the rounds continued. This was one of the first instances of Azeez in his present formidable form appearing, and it truly sent audiences on a ride due to how brutal the fight was. His more technical side was displayed in a stunning victory against the previously unbeaten Lawrence Asuke after 10 rounds at the Brentwood Center. Through this victory, he was able to claim the then vacant English title. Now for the most important fight leading up to his scheduled fight with Joshua Buatsi. On November 20 of 2021, Azeez put on an impressive performance and blasted Hosea Burton to a halt in the 7th round to become the new British light heavyweight champion at the SSE Arena. This title has changed hands a few times since Joshua Buatsi took it and then vacated it in 2019. He followed the defense of his title to retain it while winning the vacant Commonwealth light heavyweight title against Rocky Fielding. Finally, on March 11, 2023, he won the vacant European light heavyweight title against Thomas Farr. As of now, he's had 20 fights with 20 wins, 13 of which were by knockout. He is the only British light heavyweight to capture all British Boxing Board of Control domestic titles, becoming the premier heavyweight or light heavyweight boxing prospect from Britain right now. All eyes are on him to defend his title and come out on top of this highly competitive bracket. Maybe a superstar fight against Callum Smith is next. Either way, the international stage is waiting. Fighters compared. Of course, being the muscular hunk that he is, Buatsi is known for his explosive punching and aggressive fighting style. But he takes the technical side of his training just as seriously. He often spars with boxers who fight in a similar style to his opponent, but also with faster fighters who throw quicker punches in order to help him adapt to those that are faster than him in every way. After all, being a power puncher is great, but being a power puncher and an adaptable boxer at the same time is even better. In general, however, both his hooks have come to be feared within the British pro boxing scene. With his height and reach, he can strike at any part of the body as he wishes, and each of those strikes have the potential to soundly knock the opponent down. On the other hand, Dan Azeez isn't all that much different. In fact, part of the allure of this matchup is the fact that his fighting style is so similar to how Dan Azeez fights. Azeez's style is characterized by his low center of gravity, physical and mental strength, and a great degree of ring IQ. He prefers strategizing the entire length of each of his fights according to the strengths of his opponents, and he always has a structured plan to dismantle the opponent slowly throughout the rounds. Typically, he opens the first round with an unrelenting flurry of hard strikes before easing down. Usually, this is when the opponent attempts to come back at him with full energy and focus, and this is where he switches to a more methodical approach. This is how he often ends up with TKO victories or simple points different victories, much more than Buatsi. They both have high ring IQs, which allows them to adapt and respond effectively to their opponent's strategies. It's also worth noting that both boxers have sparred together, giving them unique insights into each other's fighting styles, with Dan Azeez noting that Buatsi is ruthless. He already has a preconceived game plan for dealing with him, which could mean the difference here, despite Buatsi's raw aggression. But what do you think? Will Joshua Buatsi claim his regional titles, or will Dan Azeez hold on to them furiously and come out on top? Leave us a like and subscribe. We'll see you again when the dust settles on the canvas.